Okay, so we're going to see there it is. What time is it? It's breakthrough time. So I want to talk to you, my friend. See, I'm just like you. I'm greatly blessed, highly favored, and deeply loved. But there was a time I didn't know that. There was a time I didn't understand that. And guess what, my friend? My life was a mess. But I'm blessed right now. My beautiful wife, when I speak, she backs me up. My beautiful wife, we get to pray together. My beautiful wife, we get to play together. That's it. That's me in Jamaica. We've been there several times speaking and empowering people. But my life started off as a hot mess. Not a mess, a hot mess. I said a hot mess. I'm talking about, my friend, and many of you can understand what I'm talking about. My life was a mess. I've been physically abused and verbally abused and sexually abused. And matter of fact, by the time I was 12 years of age, I tried to commit suicide on 2 occasions. I was in a very hopeless situation. As a 6-year-old boy, a gang of teenagers beat me up. I was a 6-year-old boy. They were teenagers. They beat me up. They threw me on the ground, stomped on me like I was an ant or a roach. And again, punching all over me. I'm bleeding from everywhere you can bleed. I was a 6-year-old boy. You would think that was enough. That wasn't enough. These guys flipped me over, laying on my back, face up. And they took a great big old bucket of tar and they poured it on my face. They poured it on my body. They took a bunch of feathers and threw them on me and left me there. This is back in 1966. A 6-year-old boy. I lay battered and beaten almost to death. I barely could breathe because the tar was, thank God it wasn't hot, but it was thick. And listen, my friend, and thank God somebody finally found me and rushed me to the hospital. But I'm trying to tell you, my life was a mess. The sexual abuse, the verbal abuse, the physical abuse. One of my mom's boyfriend, I've been beat with a steel choker chain for a dog, a fiberglass bow and arrow set. I mean, my life was a mess. And some of you, your life was maybe more of a mess than mine, but I got some news for you. I got some news for you because we're going to talk about success. Journey of the success. And look at the bottom of the screen. Every master was once a mess or mediocre. Therefore, every mess or mediocre person can one day be a master. Oh, come on, somebody. Let me say that again. I said every master was once a mess. Therefore, every mess or mediocre person can one day be a master. You see, my friend, there's 8.1 billion people in this world, all diverse backgrounds and languages and regions that they live in. But out of the 8.1 billion people in the world, there's only 3 categories of people. Number one, there are those whose life or business or relationship, whatever, is in a mess, and they don't believe or know that they can be a master. Number 2 are those who their life, their business, their relationship is a mess, but they're in training to be a master. So I call that they're a master in the making. And then number 3, you got a group of people who are masters, but they messed up. And so I call them masters in the remaking. Oh, come on, somebody. Out of 8 billion people, 8.1, everybody is one of those 3, my friend. And I've been all of those 3 in my life. And I'm here to give you some good news, okay? So again, my friend, you see me on the left as a little 11-year-old boy, and I look like a hot mess. And you see a couple years later, I'm able to kick up pretty high as a brown belt. Then you see a couple years later, I'm laying on a bed of nails, and the guy's taking a sledgehammer and breaking the bricks off my stomach. And then you see me breaking bricks on fire. And then you see when I was voted into the Black Belt Hall of Fame. But I didn't start off there. Are you with me? It's a journey. And I had to take the journey. And I'm telling you, I don't care where you are now. All I care is where you want to be. And you might be like me, that was a mess. But you know what? Once I found out I didn't have to be a mess. Come on now. Thank God for mentors that helped me. I didn't have to be a mess. And I didn't have to be mediocre. I could be a master. And now I stand before you as a 10th degree grandmaster black belt. Listen, my friend, there's less than 200 of us in the world. And as a matter of fact, I retired years ago as a heavyweight champion with Karate World Rating System. But when I joined the martial arts, I tripped over my own feet. When I joined the martial arts, they called me Mr. Baboon. They made fun of me. And I said, you better laugh now because one day I'm going to whoop all y'all. You know why? Because my mind was made up, my friend, and that day came. So listen, Albert Einstein, listen, he wasn't able to speak until he was almost 4 years old. And his teacher said, he would never amount to be anything. Now, you know him as the master, but guess what, my friend? He was a mess. Michael Jordan, you see, after being cut from his high school basketball team, he went home, locked himself in his room and cried. The great Michael Jordan. See, you didn't see him that way. See, what happens, here's the danger. We take our mess, and even when our mediocre, and we try to look and compare to a master, and we're like, man, I can never be that way. No, you can be that way, but that attitude will keep you from being that way. See, if you think you are beaten, you are. And if you think you dare not, you won't. If you like to win but think you can, it's almost a sense you won't. If you think you will lose, you've already lost. For this powerful truth we find, success begins with a person's will. It's all a state of mind. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger woman or man, but sooner or later, those who win, those who first think and then know that they can. And I know you can. And Solomon knows you can. That's why he invited me to speak and to pour into your life, my friend. And by the way, I'm telling you, listen, I am telling you, my friend, it is so good when you go from being a mess to a master. How many of you right now know your business might be in a mess? Your relationship might be in a mess. Your spiritual life might be in a mess. Your physical life might be a mess. Your finances are in a mess. Come on. But guess what, my friend? You can grow to be a master. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination and having no original ideas. But guess what? They changed after a while. Steve Jobs at 30, he was left devastated and depressed after being, listen now, unceremoniously removed from the company that he started. But by the time he died, his company was worth more than any other company. Oprah Winfrey, get this, she was demoted from her job. They said, listen, they said, you're not made for TV. And now she owns her own network. Come on, somebody. She didn't start off as a master with her own network. She started off as a mess. But guess what? She was willing to take the steps to become a master. By the way, if I could show you some steps how you can go from being a mess or being mediocre to being a master. How many of you say, listen, I'd be ready to start stepping, my friend. If you show me the steps, I'm going to take them. Come on. Who says that? Show me the steps. Yes. I'll take them.
Yes.
Yeah. Like this rocket ship, when it takes off, there's all kind of combustion. There's all kind of energy. But guess what? If you've seen it on television, it's moving real slow. And if the rocket ship were human, it's like, this is out there. I'm doing all this work and nothing's happening. I just don't understand this. Guess what? But a rocket ship is not human. It doesn't run based off its emotions. It runs based off its programming. So it just does what it was designed to do. So that rocket ship continue to do what it was doing. And all of a sudden, it starts gaining momentum. And they tell me, get this now, right before it breaks through the Earth's atmosphere, right before it gets, they said it starts to rotate wildly, almost as if it's about to be shaken to pieces. Now, wait a minute. This rocket ship, from 1 million pounds of fuel it takes from takeoff to escape velocity. That rocket ship that started slow, but because it just stayed faithful, like Solomon, stayed faithful. And now all of a sudden it's getting momentum. But now, my friend, right before he hits escape, it's going 25,000 miles per hour. But now it's about to go through the Earth's pole, so it's shaking wildly. If I was a rocket ship, I can hear him saying, this ain't fair. I've been faithful. I've done everything they told me to do. It is not working. It feels like I'm about to be shaken to pieces. And all across the country, I speak to people. They do everything they know to do, and it seems like their business shaken to pieces. Done everything they know to do. It seems like their life shaken to pieces. Doing everything you know to do, but the relationship with your husband, your wife, your children is like shaken to pieces. And listen, my friend, the rocket ship, if he was human like you, he would do like you do and say, well, I gave it everything I have. I can't do it. I can't take another second of this. No, the rocket ship just does what it's programmed to do. And they tell me in the next instant, you hear this loud boom, and it breaks through the Earth's atmosphere. And like I said, now it's traveling 25,000 miles per hour. It will virtually use no more fuel for the rest of the trip. Out of the 1 million pounds of fuel, 95% is from takeoff to escape velocity. But once it breaks through the Earth's atmosphere, it will virtually use no more fuel for the rest of the trip. I'm trying to tell you, Before the breakthrough, it seems like all struggle and little or no success. But after the breakthrough, there seems to be success with little or no struggle. You just got to keep on keeping on. See, when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, and the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh. If care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is strange with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a struggler turns about. When he might have won it, they stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Success, it's failure, turn inside out. The silver tint of the cloud of doubt, and you never can tell how close you are. Victory may be near, though it seems afar. So stick to the fight when your heart is hit. It's when things seem worse that you just mustn't quit. This is called a writer downer right here. Before you get your undeniable breakthrough, you'll usually experience an overwhelming breakdown. Oh, did you hear me? I said, before you get your undeniable breakthrough, you're going to go through an overwhelming breakdown. See, unless a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, if it break down, it bringeth forth much fruit. See, watch this, my friend. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. You feeling like you're a mess, your business and everything. I got news for you, honey. You can have a breakthrough. Now, notice the rocket ship. When I talk to audiences about that sudden breakthrough, they're like, ooh, like they're usually clapping and cheering. But without the gradual, you never have the sudden. So a breakthrough is twofold. It's both gradual and sudden. We want the sudden part without putting in the gradual part. And the trick is the gradual part is slow and monotonous and sometimes unnoticed. And so people give up on the sudden part and they say the gradual part, but the sudden part never comes. Why? It can't come. You have to be continued in. I talk about in my book how when they're breaking a rock, they say you can hit the rock 100 times and there's not even it doesn't even budge. And then the next hit, the 101st time, bam, it breaks open. And some of y'all been swinging and swinging and talking and talking and doing and doing and doing. It seems like nothing's happened and you give up when that next hit, boom, would have been a breakthrough. So listen, my friend, you got to stay faithful, even though it doesn't seem like it's working. You got to stay faithful, my friend, and just keep on keeping on. And like this rocket ship, my friend, your breakthrough will come. So if you want to have a breakthrough, step number one, it's called mentorship. Come on, step number one is called mentorship. In the chat, put down mentorship. Now, you got to have mentorship. And there's so many people, they're like, I don't need a mentor. Well, I got me one. No. Les Brown and I were speaking in the UK. And I always have great respect for Les. But my respect went 10 times higher. Here's why. He was speaking and he said, now, folks, if you want to know anything about marriage, he said, don't ask me because I'll ruin it. I've been married 5 times, divorced. He said, now, if you want to know about speaking, I'm the man. I can help you, but don't come to me with nothing about no relationships because I'll mess it up. Listen, 10 times my respect for him because he was helping people to understand a great mentor in one area may not be what you need in another. You need sometimes different mentors. So I got a spiritual mentor. I got financial mentor, business. So safety, that says, in the multitudes of counselor and mentors. See, Socrates mentored Plato, and then Plato mentored Aristotle. It was Aristotle who mentored Alexander the Great, and then Andrew Carnegie mentored Napoleon Hill, who wrote the book Think and Grow Rich. It was Napoleon Hill who mentored W. Clement Stone, and then W. Clement Stone mentored Jack Canfield, the co-author of the billion-dollar book series Chicken Soup for the Soul. It was Benjamin Graham who mentored Warren Buffett. And then, of course, Warren Buffett has mentored millions. As a matter of fact, one time they said to Mr. Buffett, what should we invest in these hard economic times? And he said, simple. Well, man, they got their pens out. They thought he's about to give them a symbol or something. And he said, invest in yourself. It's the best dividend you'll ever have. It was Dr. Benjamin Mays, the president of Morehouse, who mentored a young teenage boy who years later, you know his name, Dr. Martin Luther King. And of course, Dr. King has mentored millions. And in his death, my friend, multiple millions. It was Bill Bailey who mentored Les Brown in the early days. And Les Brown, of course, has mentored millions and spoke to 80,000 people in one time at the Atlanta, Georgia Dome. Bill Bailey also mentored Jim Rohn, and Jim Rohn mentored a guy, you probably heard of his name, Tony Robbins. And of course, Tony has mentored tens of millions. In the Bible, Moses mentored Joshua. Joshua mentored the 3 million Israelites. It was Elijah that mentored Elisha. And then Elisha mentored this widow woman in 2 Kings chapter 4, who was about to lose her children. Her husband had died, and they would take your children to debtor's prison. And he showed her, get this now, how to start her own home-based business. That's right. People that don't like network marketing, multi-level marketing, it's in the Bible, my friend, a home-based business. Watch this now. And she was able to pay off her debts, and her and her children lived the rest of their lives off the profits. It was Ananias in the New Testament that mentored Saul, who became Paul. And then Paul mentored young Timothy, and young Timothy mentored the church. And then Jesus mentored disciples. And here's what he said. I love this. Get this now. Hold on to y'all got seatbelts out there? He said, the works that I do shall you do also, and greater works than these. Meaning the mentee, get this now, cannot just do what the mentor has done. The mentee can double what the mentor has done. Oh, come on. So I tell people, if you believe like I believe and do like I do, what happens for me can happen for you. But because I'm not the standard, it can happen even better for you. And that's my desire. And that's my prayer. And that's why I write books and put together trainings, my friend, because I want to pour into you. So listen, my friend, you can miss some of the landmines that I landed on and lost a leg. And no. You can just keep on keeping on. Is this helping anybody so far? I need to know, is it talking to anybody up in here?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So I'm talking to the right people then. Okay. So we said mentorship, and now I lost my thing here. Mentorship. Uh-oh. One more time here. There we go. So you want to learn to, I did the wrong thing. Somebody need to see that again. There we go. Too fast. Bam. Walk with who and what you want to be like in spite of how things look now. Your day will come. That little cub is probably like, man, ain't no hope for me. Oh, baby, you just keep on living. Hello, somebody. You just keep on following Solomon. Hello, somebody. You just keep on going to the meetings. You just keep on going to the conventions. You just keep on, and your day will come, my friend. So listen, but it's going to take mentorship, but you can't be insecure about being around powerful people. You got to learn to say, my day's coming, my power. That's why I'm saying you got to learn to say, I might look like a mess, I might feel like a mess, but really, I'm a master in the making. Come on, somebody. Unmute yourself. Somebody talk to me. I want to hear you say, I'm a master in the making.
I'm a master in the making.
Come on.
Master in the making.
Master in the making.
Look like a mess. I might feel like a mess, but don't get it twisted, baby. I'm a master in the making.
I'm a master in the making.
Don't get it twisted. I'm a master in the making.
So
I'm
here's
a master in the making.
So I used to share the platform with Jim Rohn, who's now gone, and Bill Bailey. Bill Bailey had a company grossing $64 million a month. First time I heard about him, I said, man, whatever you got, I buy everything you got, bro. Whatever you train, whatever, I'm buying it because I want to learn. But here's you got to learn to believe in yourself. And if not, believe in your God or believe in your mentor who believes in you until your own belief kicks in. That's the first step to breakthrough success. So again, having a mentor. Number two, it's going to take a mental shift. Number one, you got to have mentorship, and number two, a mental shift. See, here's the thing, my friend. Without a breakthrough mentality, nothing on earth can help you. Ooh, write that down. Without a breakthrough mentality, nothing on earth can help you. With a breakthrough mentality, nothing or nobody on earth can stop you. Oh, come on, somebody, man. I wish somebody else was talking so I can tell you how good that is. Hello. We need a new mental shift. That's why I keep packing different information in my mind, my friend. Why? Because your mind watching the news and all this negative stuff. And no. You got to learn, my friend, to start thinking bigger and bolder. And listen, it was this man, Roger Bannister, the 4-minute mile it was unbreakable. They said a man would die, his lungs would collapse. But Roger Bannister didn't believe that. And so on May the 6th of 1954, he ran what we call the sub 4-minute mile. But here's what's so good about that. 46 days later, his record was broken. I mean, listen, for 1954 years, nobody even got close. But once he broke through, they broke through. And that's why you got to get your breakthrough. See, barriers. So get busy. Come on now. See, I used to think barriers were made to stop me. Here's another writer downer. Any barrier that God didn't make was made to be broken. Let me say that again. I said any barrier that God didn't make was made to be broken. And again, everything worthwhile has ever been was declared impossible by someone else before it was done. Thus, you must have a breakthrough mentality, breakthrough mentor, and we'll teach you some breakthrough methods. And I don't have time to go through Jack Ma's story 30 times. You know, he tried to get the job and he turned him down. And I mean, over and over again. I mean, but guess what, my friend? Now he's one of the richest men in the world. Listen, my friend, you got to have a breakthrough mentor and a breakthrough mentality. Impossible. If you take the I am off, it now says I'm possible. See those limiting beliefs? It's all in your head. That donkey, that mule, whatever it is, that little chair is not what's holding him back. It's what's in his mind, my friend. How many of y'all like me ever been to a circus and you saw that big old elephant, my friend, a little old rope, and you wondering, now, wait a minute now. But see, they train the elephant when he's a baby. And they put a big old chain around his leg. And that little elephant tries to run, and that chain, it's like, oh, that hurt. And then, but he keeps on trying it over and over and over again, and the pain. And so every time he goes a certain length, he feels that pain of that chain. And they say after about 3 or 4 months, they can take off the chain and just put a little rope. And that elephant, as he gets bigger and bigger and bigger, his mind still stays the same. And that's why he won't even try to go too far. Is that we need a new mentality. See, impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing but by Muhammad Ali. By the way, my early mentors were Muhammad Ali, Bruce Lee, and my mommy. Hello, somebody. So listen, success is not just based on what a person accomplishes, but rather what they had to break through in order to achieve it. So many of you, my friend, you'll be more successful than the people you looked at as successful because they didn't have all the barriers that you have. So let's get breaking. Number 3, if you're going to go from being a mess or mediocre to a master, step number 1, you got to have some mentors. Step number 2, a mental shift. But step number 3, misery. Now, they won't tell you this, but I'm going to tell you, you are not going to be great unless you go through some great pain and great misery. Now, many folks go through great pain or great misery, so why don't you leverage that so you can be great? See, a diamond is just a piece of charcoal that handled stress exceptionally well. So don't allow the pain of the process to keep you from your promise. Come on, somebody. Is that good or extra good?
That's good.
There you go.
Extra good.
Extra good.
So if you're going to get grape juice, you got to crush the grapes. A diamond is formed under pressure with time. Olives are pressed to release oil that blesses. Seeds grow in the darkness under the dirt. So whenever you feel crushed, under pressure, pressed or in darkness, you're in a powerful place of transformation. Submit. Don't resist. See, you got a bunch of haters. My acronym for haters is having animosity toward everyone reaching success. As long as you're status quo, they'll leave you alone. My mentor said, if you want people to get after you, do 3 things. Have more, know more, and do more, they'll get after you. If you want people to leave you alone, have nothing, know nothing, and do nothing. I said, wait a minute. If I have nothing, know nothing, do nothing, they're going to call me lazy and shiftless. Look, you just mind you going. Matter of fact, I posted on Facebook the other day, dear haters, don't be too mad yet because you ain't seen nothing yet. Come on, somebody. Let the haters hate, my friend. Let the haters hate. The poor hate. The average speculate, but the great always celebrate. Oh, come on now. So breakthrough success of secret of success. When things, people, business, or your emotions go left, you just stay right. Come on, somebody. Just stay right. See, the comfort is the enemy of achievement. So life begins at the end of your comfort zone. So you got to get ready to be uncomfortable. It's going to be some misery. You remember they used to say no pain, no gain. Number 4, it's going to take methods. What's the 4th step? It's methods. You got mentorship. You got a mental shift. You got to go through some misery. Listen, by the way, pain and adversity. This is so good. Hold on. Okay, Harris, just breathe, man. Relax. Okay. So watch this. Pain and adversity causes some men and women to break. It causes others to break records. Don't let your pain break you. Let your pain make you a record breaker. Come on now. And then you're going to learn some methods. Yeah. Now, you can't prove that something doesn't work. You can just prove you don't know how to work it right. So maybe you haven't worked it long enough, or it no longer works because you are no longer working. So the breakthrough is going into a whole nother dimension. My time, man, number 5 is going to take your mouth. You're going to have to learn, open up your mouth, and you got to learn to speak some powerful, positive things. You can't speak what you see. You got to speak what you want to see. Ooh, somebody got a breakthrough on that one right there. Your problem is you keep speaking what you see, and you keep speaking what you're feeling instead of speaking what you're faithing. Oh, come on now. Dr. Breakthrough says, don't fake it till you make it, baby. No, faith it till you make it. Faith, F-A-I-T-H, write this down. Fully anticipating it to happen. I don't see it, I don't feel it, but I'm believing it, my friend. I posted on Facebook the other day, I'm a blessed breakthrough believing believer. Thus, I'm an awesome, anointed, achieving achiever. Oh, come on, somebody. So most people, they heard of Muhammad Ali's quote, but they don't know the real part. He said I was the greatest. That's not the good part. Here's the good part. I said that even before I was. Come on now. Matter of fact, here's the real quote. He said, I said I was the greatest a long time before I ever believed it. So in other words, he figured out what he wanted to believe, and he said, I'm going to say it long enough and loud enough. See, he must have knew something in the Bible, because faith cometh by hearing, hearing by. He said, if I say it long enough and loud enough, if I don't believe it, the people I'm fighting going to believe it. And if you fight the greatest, you know you're going to get whooped. Come on, somebody. And so when he gets one person whooped, he says, wait a minute, maybe I really am the greatest. So you got to learn to call those things which be not as though they were. Faith, fully anticipating it to happen. See, the constant repetition of affirmations, it leads to belief. And once that belief kicks in, deep conviction begins, things will happen. Job 22:28, thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee, my friend. Come on now. And then number 6, oh, here's where we're going to separate the men from the boys, the women from the girls. Mastery. You say, mastery, what does that mean? I'm glad you asked. I'm fitting to tell you. I live in Texas now. I'm from Pennsylvania, but I'm in Texas. I'm fitting to tell you. See, here's what we get messed up. We think because we know something or we heard something, we know it. No, you don't know it until you've mastered it. And in the martial arts, I would say, sensei, I already know how to do that punch. I know how to do that kick. I already know that kata, which is fighting in magic. He says, no, you don't. I said, no, sir, I could do it with my eyes closed. He said, that ain't good enough. I said, but he said, no, you got to do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until it's part of your subconscious, so that without even thinking. As a matter of fact, watch this, my friend. In the home-based business arena, here's a problem I had. See, as a martial artist, they would say, don't fear the man. There's no such thing as 10,000 kicks, but it's just a saying. Don't fear the man or woman that can do 10,000 kicks. Fear the man or woman that did one kick 10,000 times. See, I heard that before. I know, no, you don't know. If you ain't doing it, you don't know it. And if you're not doing it subconsciously without even thinking, my friend. So it's like we would work on twirls and twists. I don't know if you ever know the name Myron Golden, but he's the first guy I ever led to Christ many years ago, and I was his martial arts instructor. Then in college, I was his Bible college teacher. But anyway, but one time he was on the back of a motorcycle, a Kawasaki 900, and I was trying to show off a little bit. We were young back then, and I thought I'd kick it in gear a little bit. I wasn't realizing there was some grab underneath us. When I did that, that thing went, and we both went over the handlebars. And they said, how'd you do that? And I was like, do what? Because I heard, ah! So Myron, his elbows, he had thrown his elbows out to stop his fall, and he's got them all scratched up. And I'm standing up. And I'm like, huh? And they said, how'd you do? I said, do what? They said, man, you guys both went over, and Myron threw out his elbows and landed, and you did a somersault and landed on your feet. I was like, I did? You see what I'm saying? We had worked on this stuff over and over and over and over and over again. I wasn't even thinking about it. All of a sudden, my body, bam, there you go. And I'm telling you, my friend, your problem is you read the book one time. No, I read books until I become the book. Oh, come on, somebody. I've listened to some trainings 1,000 over and 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 over until I can literally quote it, my friend. See, mastery means you keep doing this thing over. See, the problem is we want to keep learning something new. And we want to say, oh, Solomon, I already know how to do that. No, honey, until you mastered it. And I'm telling you, this is the way you become a master, by mastering something. And the way you master something is you do it over and over. And you feel like I'm not doing it good, but you just keep doing it over and over and over. And then by the time you think you got it, you then got to really do it over and over and over again. And that, my friend, is mastery. So anyone who tells you can succeed without work is probably trying to sell you something that won't. So here's a picture. One of my books is called How to Build a Big Team Fast. That's my wife. They're reading the book. She doesn't like her face. She looked like a movie star, but she don't like, I'm like, baby. I took a picture of her today. She said, don't put my face. I'm like, what do you... anyway, I mean, I'm ugly. You put a camera up, I'm jumping in front of it. She runs. But anyway, so READ, my acronym for READ. This is my, when you hear me give acronyms, they're my acronyms. And my acronyms mean something. They're just some words, right? Receive, empowerment, answers, dominion. Who wants to receive empowerment, answers, and dominion? By the way, empowerment means it comes from the inside out. Hello, somebody. See, my goal is not to get you hooked on needing me. My goal is to stimulate something in you to let you know what's in me is in you. As a matter of fact, my friend, by the time I'm done with you, you don't need me. Hello, somebody. Man, that's good right there. Okay. So keep reading the book until you become or embody the book. So it's crazy that people feel like 2 to 5 years in the business is a long time to get rich, but they don't feel like 40 years on the job is a long time to stay broke. So
that's right.
There you go. I'm glad you're with me. I'm glad you're with me. So you must be, get this now, committed to the process of being bad or feeling bad for as long as it takes to get good. When I first started in martial arts, I was terrible, but I kept on, and now I'm one of the less than 210th degree black belts. When I started speaking, I was so bad, I couldn't stand myself. I would go out in the backyard and speak, and the trees would bow and the squirrels would run. But I kept speaking, although I felt bad. I kept speaking, even though I didn't like my speaking. Matter of fact, then one day I said, well, wait a minute, if I'm speaking, I might as well like it. Matter of fact, I said, and if I'm the one speaking, I might as well like me. Matter of fact, you know why I showed up tonight on this Zoom? I heard one of my favorite speakers was going to be speaking, and I had to show up to hear me. Come on, somebody.
All right.
I tell people now, I like being me so much. If I wasn't me, I want to be me. Come on, somebody. And when I became my favorite speaker, I became my wife came up and said, baby, you my favorite speaker. All 4 of my children, we got 8 now, but I have 4, she had 4. We said, let's get it together and do 8, baby. Come on now. But watch this now. And all of my children all came up to me individually. You my favorite speaker. See, you got to understand something, my friend. That's like you got to learn to be committed to it's a process. It's not overnight. It's a process of being bad and feeling bad for as long as it takes to get good. See, you don't even understand this. Man, my time is out. This ain't fair. You should have gave me a couple times. But lastly, they don't want to hear this one, money.
Come on back.
Yeah, they don't want to hear that one. She said, go back.
No, come back.
You said come back. Oh,
okay. I thought you said go back. I don't want to see that one. All right, here we go.
Money. You want to hear money?
Yeah.
Yes. So if you're going to go from being a mess or mediocre to a master, do you think when I went to karate practice, it was free? No, or of course not.
No.
Don't you know in the martial arts, then we had to go through tests. And was the test free? No, of course no. Do you know we went to tournaments and we would fight? Was the tournament free? No, of course no. And when we went to the tournament, we had to have gear. Was the gear free? No, of course no. And we had to make sure we had our gi. Was the gi? No, nothing was free.
Everything costs.
And you get in the home-based business and you pay your little distributor fee and your little thing and you think, honey, listen, I'm going to tell you something. You show me somebody who's a master. Listen, you know what they told me? Now, I don't know if it's true. And I couldn't find out by Googling it, but I heard that LeBron James, listen now, invests $1 million every year in his brain and in his body and the different things that he does. Can you imagine that? But you know why, my friend? He's at the top, and he wants to stay at the top of his game. But we get people here. When Solomon says you need to buy Dr. Breakthrough, that $25 book, your breakthrough is guaranteed, on drbreakthrough.com, or his book, How to Build a Big Team Fast, which, by the way, every person on your team should have it. And then maybe I could come back and do a training on the book and go walk you through the book. But listen, I got a 21-day breakthrough challenge. Every last one of you deserve to go through that. I'm trying to tell you, my friend, I didn't go from being a guy that could barely speak to now being paid up to $1,000 a minute. You heard me right. $1,000 a minute. I've been blessed to be voted into the Black Belt Hall of Fame and the Motivational Speakers Hall of Fame, but I didn't start there. And by the way, I'm not stopping here either. Hello, somebody.
Hello.
Right? I mean, up until here, the most I was paid previously was $47,000 an hour. And I kept saying it's going to get, and then when somebody paid me $1,000 a minute, I was like, oh, Lord Jesus. I said, that's the first, oh, come on now. But don't worry, y'all got a discount today. I think it's like no, anyway. All right. But listen, serious though. Show me somebody who mastered their craft, and I'll show you somebody who happily invested in their selves, in their business, happily, my friend.
Yeah.
So a formal education will make a living, self-education will make a fortune. Dr. Breakthrough says, why just make a living when you can make a fortune to be blessed, to be a blessing to others? How many of you say, I don't just want to make a living, I want to make a fortune? Come on, raise your hand in the chat. Put me.
Want to make a fortune.
I want to make a fortune.
Me,
Les Brown said
me,
the best
me,
information costs,
Me.
but it pays for itself 10 times over. I was like, what? He said, yeah, information it costs, but pays for itself 10 times over. And so here it is, my beautiful ABCD when we got married. She said, baby, we don't ever want to spend money. We want to circulate money. She said, when you spend money, it's gone, never to return. But when you circulate money, it goes out and comes back, a never-ending cycle of increase and enjoyment. I was like, from now on, we're going to look for ways that we can circulate our money, my friend. And y'all got a business model, by the way, where people can circulate their money on their bill. Oh, come on, somebody. You got a business model that helps that, but you got to learn to do that in your own personal life. So your time as a caterpillar has expired. Your wings are now ready. Who's ready to fly? Who's
Yes.
I am.